Who really was the greatest conqueror in history? In this video, we will embark on a journey through history to compare 5 conquerors, each originating from a different empire. Alexander the Great, son of King Philip I of Macedonia, began his series of conquests at an early age. After securing his position in Greece and subduing the League of Corinth under his command, he turned his gaze towards the vast Persian Empire in a series of campaigns that lasted over a decade. Alexander not only dismantled Persian power, but also expanded his dominion to territories no Macedonian army had dreamed of exploring. His first great victory was at the Battle of Granicus, where he defeated a significantly larger Persian army. This victory opened the doors of Asia Minor to him. Following this victory, Alexander continued southwards, securing the eastern Mediterranean coast. His triumph at the Battle of Issus and later at the decisive Battle of Gaugamela not only marked the end of the Persian Empire, but also established Alexander as the ruler of a vast territory extending to Egypt and the Indus Valley. In Egypt, he was received as a liberator from Persian domination and founded the city of Alexandria, which would become a prominent cultural and commercial center. His campaign in Central Asia and India further expanded the boundaries of his empire. In India, he faced and defeated King Porus at the Battle of the Hydaspes, although this victory came at a great cost and marked the point where his exhausted troops refused to advance further east, forcing him to turn back. Alexander's conquests not only altered the political map of the ancient world, extending Hellenic influence across Asia, but also laid the foundations for the spread of Hellenism, merging cultures and knowledge from the West and the East. Upon his death, the empire he built was divided among his generals, but his legacy as one of the greatest military strategists and visionary leaders remains intact. Genghis Khan, born as Temujin, unified the nomadic tribes of the Mongolian steppe in the early 10th century and forged one of the largest and most feared empires in history. Under his leadership, the Mongol Empire expanded its borders at an unprecedented speed, conquering vast regions of Asia and reaching Eastern Europe. The expansion of the Mongol Empire began with the subjugation of the nomadic kingdoms of Mongolia and the subsequent invasion of China. Genghis Khan conquered the Jin dynasty in northern China and the western Xia dynasty, demonstrating not only his military prowess but also his adaptability in besieging fortified cities, a new challenge for the Mongols. After securing dominance in the east, Genghis Khan directed his conquests westward, crossing the vast Gobi Desert and subjugating the kingdoms of Central Asia, including the powerful Khwarezmian Empire. These campaigns not only expanded the empire's borders to the Caspian Sea and the Indus River, but also opened trade routes along the famous Silk Road, effectively connecting the east with the west. The Mongol expansion continued even after Genghis Khan's death under the leadership of his successors, who carried out invasions in Eastern Europe, Persia, and the Levant, further consolidating the empire's legacy. The Mongol tactic of using mobility, espionage, and terror, along with their ability to incorporate troops and techniques from conquered cultures, allowed the Mongol Empire to not only conquer, but also effectively administer an immensely diverse and vast territory. Genghis Khan's legacy and the expansion of the Mongol Empire had a lasting impact on world history, facilitating cultural and commercial exchange across Eurasia and laying the foundations for modernity by connecting different parts of the world. Julius Caesar, one of the most emblematic military and political leaders in Roman history, carried out a series of campaigns that not only expanded Rome's dominions, but also cemented his reputation as one of the greatest strategists of all time. His most famous campaign, the conquest of Gaul, extended from 58 BCE to 50 BCE and resulted in the annexation of the vast territory that includes present-day France, Belgium, parts of Switzerland, and northern Italy under Roman control. The conquest of Gaul was not only a demonstration of military skill, but also a complex campaign involving both siege warfare and guerrilla tactics, requiring meticulous administration and logistics. Caesar faced and defeated several coalitions of Gallic tribes, most notably at the Battle of Alesia, where his army besieged and ultimately captured Vercingetorix, the leader of the Gallic resistance, in a display of military ingenuity and perseverance. In addition to his campaigns in Gaul, Caesar also conducted significant expeditions in Britain, modern-day United Kingdom, and Germania, regions of modern-day Germany and Central Europe. Although these incursions did not result in permanent territorial annexations on the same scale as Gaul, they strengthened the Roman frontier and demonstrated the reach of Roman power. Caesar's ability to integrate the conquered territories, combined with his focus on clemency towards the subdued peoples, allowed for relative peace and stability in the conquered regions. These conquests not only greatly extended the territory under Roman control, but also set a precedent for Roman expansion, ensuring that Julius Caesar's name would be remembered as synonymous with conquest and military leadership. Hernán Cortés, a Spanish conquistador, led an expedition that resulted in the fall of the Aztec Empire, an event that marked a turning point in the history of the Americas. Upon his arrival in Mexico in 1519, Cortés, with a relatively small contingent of Spanish soldiers, took advantage of the existing political divisions among the indigenous peoples, forming alliances with those discontented under Aztec rule. The conquest of the Aztec Empire by Cortés is notable not only for the audacity and political cunning he demonstrated in forming alliances, but also for the effective use of European military technology, such as firearms and cavalry, which were unknown in the New World. Additionally, the introduction of European diseases, against which the indigenous people had no immunity, played an inadvertent but devastating role, decimating the Aztec population and facilitating the conquest. The key battle for the conquest was the capture of Tenochtitlan after a siege of several months, culminating in the capture of the last Aztec emperor, Cuauhtémoc. The fall of Tenochtitlan not only symbolized the end of Aztec dominance, but also marked the beginning of Spanish rule in Mesoamerica, establishing Cortés as the governor of the vast new lands conquered for the Spanish crown. The conquest of the Aztec Empire by Hernán Cortés drastically changed the cultural, political, and social landscape of the Americas, opening the continent to European colonization and cultural exchange. However, it also led to the destruction of a rich and complex civilization and the subjugation of its peoples, a legacy that still resonates in the history and contemporary times of Mexico. Napoleon Bonaparte, a central figure in European history in the late 18th and early 19th centuries, reshaped the continent through a series of military campaigns remembered for their tactical audacity and far-reaching political consequences. Rising to power in France through the coup of 18th Brumaire, Napoleon crowned himself emperor and embarked on a series of campaigns that significantly expanded the territory under French influence. Napoleon's main campaigns include the Napoleonic Wars, a series of global conflicts that pitted the French Empire against various European coalitions. These began with the victory at the Battle of Marengo against Austria, followed by a series of victories culminating in the Battle of Austerlitz, where Napoleon decisively defeated the Third Coalition formed by Russia, Austria, and other powers. This victory is often considered his tactical masterpiece, solidifying his reputation as one of the great military strategists in history. Additionally, Napoleon led successful campaigns in Italy and Egypt, seeking to weaken British access to the Mediterranean and trade with India. Although the Egyptian campaign was less successful, the victories in Italy secured French influence in the region. However, the invasion of Russia marked the beginning of Napoleon's downfall. Despite entering Moscow victoriously, the harsh Russian winter and the scorched earth tactic employed by the Russians decimated his army. Napoleon's influence was not limited to military conquests. His legal and administrative reforms, known as the Napoleonic Code, have had a lasting impact on the legal systems of many countries. However, his imperial ambitions ultimately led to his downfall and the restoration of the monarchy in France, leaving a complex legacy that blends admiration for his tactical genius with criticism of his thirst for power. We invite you to participate in this historical debate. Who do you think was the greatest conqueror? Is there an aspect of their conquests that you consider more important when making this choice? Perhaps you value strategic skill, cultural impact, the magnitude of the conquered lands, or the legacy left for future generations.